Wendy Williams is being exposed by representatives of her former production company as well as former staff members. Now, if you saw my previous video, I touched on Wendy Williams being the topic for today, August 17th, 2022. That's the date at the time that this video is being recorded. There were several articles that popped up throughout the day, and I'm saying to myself, what is about to happen? What is really going on? The Hollywood Reporter, the Daily Beast, Radar Online, they're all reporting what went on and how everything unraveled behind the scenes leading up to present day, basically. And I'm wondering why now. Does it have anything to do with Kelvin Hunter, which is Wendy Williams' ex-husband, possibly suing Debmar Mercury for wrongful termination? Is the production company and the staffers, are they trying to cover themselves because something is brewing? I don't know, but I just found it really odd that today there were several articles kind of exposing what went on behind the scenes of the Wendy Williams show. So this one is the Daily Beast. Wendy Williams repeatedly forgot that her show was canceled. This is what execs say. It was not pretty. So Wendy Williams often appeared incoherent in the months leading up to the cancellation of her talk show, and then had to be repeatedly reminded that the program had been axed. This is according to a new report that sheds light on her battle to stay on the air. Why the 58-year-old host of the Wendy Williams show didn't return to her iconic purple chair last fall continues to haunt fans of the daytime gossip queen. Listen, you have to be living under a rock to not really see what's going on. Wendy Williams is not well. Along with her having health issues, it's obvious that she had substance abuse issues going all the way back to even 2019, probably before that. My first video that I uploaded on this channel was March 2019 was the year, and it was Wendy Williams admits that she is living in a sober house. That was the very first video that was uploaded on this very channel. So, and Wendy had struggled, if you were familiar with Radio Wendy, Wendy Williams was not afraid to talk about her extracurricular activities, put it that way. You know, she liked to party, quote unquote, right? So it seems like everything is catching up to her, but is there more? Who knows? Okay. The article goes on. Williams has cited complications from Graves' disease and lymphedema, but the two conditions don't fully explain her increasingly bizarre speech seen in several interviews over the past year. To this day, we don't know truly what the issue is. This is what Lonnie Burstein, an executive at Debmar Mercury, the production company behind the Wendy Williams show, this is what they told the Hollywood Reporter. Now, the Hollywood Reporter is the main head honcho article. I encourage you to read it. It is very, very lengthy and detailed. And some of these articles that I'm going to be referencing pulled a little bit from the Hollywood Reporter. And some of the information is exclusive in here. So this article goes on. Sources said Williams spent the summer of 2021 in and out of hospitals, but continued to insist that she was fine, even as it became clear to those around her that her once sharp mind, which for 13 years kept viewers entertained every day for half an hour of unscripted ish talking, was faltering. This is really sad. This is like a fall from grace. But is it more? Is there something happening to her? Is someone doing something to her? We don't know. We can only assume. A lot of people think this is her karma. But if we are being told, right, from these articles, what I gathered, because I read more than one, right? If we're being told that there was substance abuse along with health issues, you know, cognitive issues. Wendy Williams has thyroid disease as well. If you're from, I've said this many times in previous videos. If you understand how that can affect someone, then you know that paired with any mood altering substance is a recipe for disaster, right? So could some of her outbursts and things that she misspoke on, and you know, could it be due to that, or is that just Wendy's personality? I don't know. This is just really sad. Anyway, staffers say that there were signs that her health was declining in the 4 years leading up to the show's cancellation. Producers had to text Debmar Mercury execs at least 25 times, asking whether the host was sober enough to go on the air. At least one pre-taped episode had to be pulled because she reportedly wasn't sober enough. Yikes. That's sad. One source said that staffers would find bottles of alcohol up in the ceiling tiles and other strange places in the office. By September of last year, the show's 100-person staff had grown extremely worried about Williams and their own job security after her prolonged absence from season 13. The host zoomed into the studio, Zoom call, video conference call, zoomed into the studio to quell their concerns, which only intensified as her speech became more and more out of touch with reality. She gets on and she starts rambling about, I'm really fine. I'm going to be fine. And it's like, what are you saying? This is what one show insider told The Hollywood Reporter, explaining that Williams was starting not to be coherent. Burstein, that's one of the execs from Debmar Mercury, said it lasted 2.5, 3 minutes, and it was not pretty, adding that people were sort of freaked out. She was saying things like, oh, I can't wait. I'll be back with you really soon. But it was obvious to anyone watching that she was not going to be back really soon. Things went downhill from there as Williams continually teased her return to the show while offering no details about her physical or mental health. Amid a revolving door of 16 guest hosts brought on last year for season 13, networks were pressuring Debmar Mercury for an answer about whether the Wendy Williams show would be returning in its original form. At a certain point, you can't really play what if. This is what Fox TV station's program exec, Frank, whatever his last name is, told The Hollywood Reporter. You do have to have an answer. Now, of course, we all know it's business. This is a business. You stay out too long without letting the execs know what's really going on. What are they to do? The show must go on. And Kelvin Hunter, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, recently sat down with Choke No Joke, who has his platform on YouTube. And he did a interview. And in part of the interview, he stated that Debmar Mercury did not help Wendy Williams, and they knew that she had a problem. Here's my thing. Is it your employer's responsibility, unless unless they're contractually obligated, but is it their responsibility to help Wendy with her substance abuse problem? I mean, how can you expect Debmar Mercury to help her? The Hollywood Reporter, it was kind of insinuated that they attempted to, but it didn't work. I mean, they can only cover for her for so long, right? And I respect what Wendy has built for herself, because many people have emulated that. And she's long in the tooth, as she would say, in this media game. But it's like, you understand the business, Wendy, and this is what leads me to believe that she really is not in her right frame of mind. What do you expect the TV executives to do? What are they to do? Well, finally, the Wendy Williams show was officially canceled in February, and the time slot was given to Sherry Shepard, a friend of Wendy Williams. She is not a friend of Wendy Williams, who had guest hosted in her absence. Williams didn't take the news well, despite the fact that she allegedly couldn't produce a doctor's note proving she was healthy enough to get back to work. I believe that if there was a piece of paper that said, no problem, she's all good, she wouldn't hesitate to show it, said Debmar Mercury co-president Mort Marcus, suggesting the host's health was so dire that her doctors couldn't clear her return. I started to think that as well. It's true. If she was able to return, then a doctor would have proven that she was able to return. And that's what Debmar Mercury was waiting on. And I think a lot of people were kicking the production teams back in. Rightfully so. I understand. How could you have Wendy on the show like this? You know, there was one episode after her mom had passed away, and she didn't even let anyone know publicly. She was in an all-black jumpsuit, and she was really incoherent. Like, she was slurring her words. Norman had to help keep her on track. It was bad, and Debmar Mercury really got blamed for that. I thought they should have got blamed for that. It's like, why would you even put her on air? But again, Wendy is who she is. She's probably like, I'm fine, I can do it. It was really, 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 really bad. Okay. Um, Even after the cancellation was announced, a confused Williams reached out to Denmark Mercury executives multiple times, wondering why her show had been axed and asking when she could return. Marcus and co-president Ira Bernstein told the Hollywood Reporter that each time Williams contacted them, it was like she was having the conversation for the first time. A representative for Williams did not immediately respond to requests for comment from the Daily Beast. Sadly, the painful portrait of Williams aligns with what the public has seen in the past year. In February, Wells Fargo petitioned a New York judge to appoint a financial guardian for the TV host. The bank labeled her an incapacitated person, and a former financial advisor said that Williams was not, quote unquote, of sound mind. Page 6 reported at the time. Afterward, Williams posted an Instagram video in which she twirled her hair, repeating, "This is not fair. This is not right." Right? She was just basically saying that she wants her money. She was referencing Bernie, who was her former manager, and she just kept saying, it's not right, it's not fair. She looked spaced out. Her eyes just said it all. Okay. An appearance on TMZ in June, which was a mess. Harvey and them know they dead wrong for that. I've said that before. An appearance on TMZ in June concerned fans even more, as the one-time firebrand appeared to slur her words and even held up her foot to the camera to show the effects of swelling brought on by lymphedema. That was so embarrassing. And whoever sat there and encouraged that and set that up and said yes to that, shame on you. Personal staff shakeups also point to turmoil within Williams' inner circle. She stopped communicating with her manager, Bernie Young, around Thanksgiving, with Young telling the Hollywood Reporter that her family wanted to take over and do the things that they wanted to do for her and with her. And it's like, all right, okay, look, I don't agree. Look at the progress. Meanwhile, it appears that those close to Williams are worried about her new manager, jeweler William Selby, who admits that he can't always control what his client is going to do. She's an adult. I can't lock her up in a house and say, don't move, don't even look out the window. This isn't prison. This is what Selby told the Hollywood Reporter in reference to her latest interviews. Selby defended himself from the critics questioning his intentions with Williams, saying, I know everyone thinks that we're all trying to take advantage of her, and I don't understand. What I don't understand, is don't I look rich? First of all, when people say things like, why would I lie? Why would I steal from her? Because why would anybody do it? Because they want to, right? I mean, that doesn't make it the truth. That doesn't mean that you're an upstanding person. Listen, I don't know if this Will guy is taking advantage of her or not. I guess we'll have to wait and see. At this point, anything is possible because this whole situation is one hot mess. All right, nowadays, tabloids continue to hound Williams, photographing her asleep at a Louis Vuitton store with a full champagne flute next to her, or standing barefoot in the lobby of her Manhattan apartment building. And yet, Williams continues to promise her return, now in the form of a podcast. This is a mess, called The Wendy Williams Experience. I just don't see it happening. In a since deleted promo posted last week, if you saw that video was a mess. She pledged, co-host, I'm famous and I'll be back. Trust me. I think that Wendy Williams has times where she's in and out, and she may want to come back when she kind of remembers what's happening and what's going on. And then other times it's just like, it's just spaced out. This is Radar Online, and they are reporting that Wendy Williams' ex-staffers found bottles of liquor hidden in the ceiling as talk show hosts unravel behind the scenes. And again, August 17th, 2022, these articles came out. So this just reiterated what I already read. This is the head honcho, the Hollywood Reporter. I encourage you guys, if you care, to read this. This is very, very, very lengthy. And for the sake of time, I will spare you all the details. This is a little bit more detailed, but most of these articles are really pretty much saying the same thing. But this one this goes all the way back to when she passed out on set when she was wearing the Lady Liberty costume for Halloween. So, yeah, this is basically saying the same thing over and over again. They're saying that, during their morning meetings via Zoom, Wendy would seem like she was okay. But by the time 10 o'clock hit, she seemed to be slurring her words. They were insinuating that she was, under the influence. Her health is declining. She's confused, you know. So this is pretty much the same thing that I read in the Daily Beast article. Radar Online was reporting this one. So I don't know, man. This is really, really weird. I just have an uneasy feeling because, like I said, I was, just checking to see what was happening online, and all these notifications for Wendy, like all of these media outlets just reporting about Wendy Williams. Her ex-staffers are kind of like blowing the lid off of things that were going on behind the scenes, and it's like, why now? And why is why are these media outlets all reporting it the same day? I don't know. Maybe it's just in my head. Some people don't want to, but I will still say pray for Wendy Williams. Like I said in my previous videos, pray for her son. Her son has to see all of this. Her son has to experience all of this. This is his mother. Regardless of what some people in the public may think of Wendy Williams, she is a mother to, Kevin Jr. And you only get one. He only gets one mother. So pray for him, for his strength. I'm praying for her family. And I just really hope, as crazy as this may sound, I just really hope that someone intervenes and says, although there's a possibility to make a lot of money, these are not my thoughts, I'm just saying, although the public loves Wendy, people want to hear what Wendy has to say, you have to be a fool to think that Wendy is really in her sound mind to continue on in a media space. And I really hope that someone is an actual adult, a sane adult, and says no more of this, and just allow Wendy to rest and allow her to be. No more promoting a podcast, no more Instagram. Cancel that Instagram page. Let's stop promoting this. Yes, Wendy, the countdown. Are you excited? Who do you think that Wendy should have on her first podcast? Let's just stop. Let's stop. Because we don't know what pressure that is putting on her, because in her mind, parts of her mind, she may think that she's okay to return. And in other parts of her mind, you see behavior displayed that shows otherwise, right? So hopefully someone will step in and say, this is enough. Cancel that Wendy Williams podcast page. Just delete that. Just delete it. Let Wendy be, because her legacy is just being torn to shreds. And who knows if she really understands what's really going on. And that's sad. All right. Drop down in the comments. Share your thoughts. I'm signing off. I love you for watching. As always, until next time. Peace.